So thank you for joining our virtual Obon. So I'm going to talk about the Obon experience in Japan. So Obon in Japan is a special period to pay respect our loved one. So normally it's between August 13th and 15th. So people visit their family graveyard and to offer the flowers and to conduct the service. And we Buddhist ministers visit our temple members' houses to conduct a service with the temple members, and with this attire. In Japan, it's really hot in summer, so it's really hard to conduct the service with this attire. And not only the suit, but also we usually wear the kimono over this under this attire. So it's really hot, and it's also an important custom for us to have a family reunion. So my town in Japan is normally really quiet because not many people live in our town. But during this Obon period, it's really busy and lively because many family come back to their hometown. So it's really fun period for us in Japan. Yeah, thank you.
I grew up in a time in Hawaii where Obon was very community-based. In a way, it's still like that, but I've been away for such a long time that I really don't know what Obon is like today. I understand that sometimes there have been Obon festivals in Waikiki where thousands of people, tourists, come down to do Obon Odori in a parking lot somewhere in Waikiki. But growing up, Obon was a time for, again, family members to come together and to spend a weekend preparing for the food, doing things together, and getting to know each other better in some ways during that time of preparation. As a scout, we used to camp out under the pretense that we were actually guarding, but we were just fooling around all night long. But the people that were preparing stock for the udon or preparing the sushi were up all night, and we were just kind of getting away. But those are the kinds of memories that I have while we were growing up. It was nowhere near the scale of our Obon here at the Bitsing. But the feeling is the same. It's coming together as family and friends, and really as community, people that we may be seeing for the first time, and yet willing to participate and to help out, to join in with what's going on. And they may not know very much about Obon or Buddhism or Jodo Shinshu, but still they're willing to be a part, to lend a hand, to have fun together. And our Obon festival is such a huge endeavor. When we first came here, we worked to schedule the assignments for all of the things that needed to be done. And this was just manpower. And there were several thousand of these slots that needed to be filled. If you look through a week of preparation and then the weekend of Obon itself, the number of people that are involved and the number of people that actually have to do more than one shift of something is quite remarkable. But the numbers itself or themselves don't really kind of convey. They can be very impressive. One of the projects for this Obon at home is a cookbook, and a part of the cookbook is to include some of the actual weight and measure of materials that are purchased for Obon. And one of the things is the amount of shoyu and sugar. The measurements are by gallons and pounds rather than teaspoons and cups. But I think the scale kind of reminds us that the number of people, of individuals who participate and make this Obon possible is deep, is deeply connected to one another. Even if a stranger walks up and wants to participate, is someone that we connect with, that we have a relationship with. Obon, starts with the story of Moggallana and his experience of his mother's death. And Shakyamuni Buddha's instructions to Moggallana are instructive. Shakyamuni Buddha doesn't tell him to go and meditate some more, go and practice some more, but rather he encourages Moggallana to do something for his community, and in doing so is able to free his mother from the realm of hungry ghosts. As we participate in this Obon festival, it's very different from anything else that we've done before. There is just a handful of people, and by a handful I mean close to 50 people maybe that might be involved in the preparations for this Obon at home, whereas previously we would have hundreds and thousands of assignments, but hundreds of people involved in the preparation for Obon. But we are reminded of how connected we are, how important family and friends are. As we gather together in our homes, gather together over the internet, the connections are still there. The relationships are still there. And like the instructions of Shakyamuni Buddha to Moggallana, not to simply go inward, but rather to reach out, to be mindful of the community that surrounds us, that provides us with the opportunity to live our lives. Even in the most difficult of times, that support helps us. And if we're mindful, a deep appreciation, sense of gratitude can arise in our hearts and minds. We are mindful of our relatives and friends who have passed away in this Obon time. And often we have services, and we will conduct them here at the Betsing next weekend on the 18th and 19th. But the services are not for the person who has died, but rather it is an expression of appreciation for the relationship that continues to be a part of our lives. As we celebrate this Obon season, mindful of the lives that have been lived before us and the community that supports us, we express our gratitude and appreciation for all that we are able to enjoy, to the life that connects us all. Thank you very much for your participation in our Obon at home. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, and welcome to San Jose's virtual Obon. I'm Reiko Iwanaga, and I've had the privilege of being the Obon Odori instructor and choreographer. And as such, I've enjoyed dancing with all of you, dancing in joy and remembrance. And this year we'll have the opportunity to dance again, but it'll be in our living rooms at 7 o'clock tonight. We will be dancing our favorites, and that will include Eija Naika. And I'm proud to say that PJ Hirobashi's Eija Naika was first introduced in San Jose, and it's gone on to much popularity since then. So although we won't be dancing with 1,400 other dancers, we hope you'll join us and dance in your living room tonight at 7 o'clock. Some of you may know that I am the late Reverend Yoshio Iwanaga's daughter-in-law. Reverend Iwanaga was the one who brought the Obon Odori tradition to the United States and presented the first one in San Francisco almost 90 years ago. He believed in having the Obon Uta, Obon Nota as the first and last dance, and to have the ministers lead out. And we've continued that tradition, and I'm proud to say that his legacy continues as we continue to select dances with religious and secular music. As you may have heard, my late father-in-law, Reverend Yoshio Iwanaga, was the one who brought the Obon to the United States. Now, when Reverend Iwanaga was about 16, he was chosen to do one of the dances at the shrine, not the Buddhist, but the Shinto shrine. And then as an ordained minister, he was teaching children's dances to a lot of young women and children, actually. And so Doyo is children's songs, and he combined the two. Buyo is dance. Doyo Buyo, dances for children. He was invited to Hawaii in 1930 to a convention, a Buddhist conference, and he performed these dances there. Reverend Terakawa, he invited him to come, and so he did. And with that, he traveled from Southern California all the way to Vancouver. The Jodo Shinshu relationship was different from other sects in that dancing was only seen as an appreciation and gratitude to the ancestors who came before. And he started to couple dances with the Obon season. We have a combination of some religious songs as well as popular songs, and to keep it simple so that everyone could join in. And the big event at the time was in Treasure Island in 1940. They had the big exposition, and they had 1,000 up there. They're estimated about 1,000 Japanese dancers who came and danced then. And so, and from then on, you know, the various temples started to do the dance. The other one was, I think, the 50th anniversary of the BCA, and that was, I think like 1948 or something. And I remember dancing at the one, I think it's the 75th, some of you may have danced. It was at San Francisco, and that's in front of City Hall. There was still a pond, and I remember we as leaders would dance on the edge of the pond. As far as San Jose's history, we understand that there was some inkling of Obon from quite early in its establishment. According to Mas Nishimura, our chair, there are records of Obon donations made in the 1920s. And in the 1930s, there is an invoice for ice for Obon, and that indicates that there was some kind of celebration at that time. And certainly after the war, we again established what has become our Obon festival. My personal recollections are that I remember dancing on the Yagura from the time I was in high school. I know my father would be part of the beef teriyaki crew. My mother would oftentimes create dances for the BWA. And I know you too have many memories of your families, and we hope that those memories will be with you tonight when you join us, when you dance tonight at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much. We'll see you then.